Okay, we are back for the second point of the match between Hammertron, Tāwhirimātea and Groot Volume 1 from Auckland. What a great play by Vaughan Wilson to keep the disc alive as Hammertron Tāwhirimātea come out on offense after having given up 1 point to Groot in the opening moments of the match. Great touch there by Blake Holloway to generate a turn and give the disc back to Groot, hoping to put a second point on the board. My name, as always, is Blair Munro. This is the 2023 New Zealand Open Ultimate Championships in Ngā Puna Sports Hub in sunny Christchurch. Billy Armstrong, big fake. Pinned down on the far sideline, has to rip off with a big backhand. Looks like it's going to be overthrown. Run down by Peter Boardman, but not in bounds. So Hammertron with an opportunity here to tie up the game. A long field ahead of them. It's Lucas Wilcock to pick up the disc. Supported by Hamish Furness. Who we've seen already, particularly in the Under-20 Trans-Tasman Series that was brought to you by ULTI.TV, and corks a big forehand. Who's he looking for? Finds Wilcock to Michael Downey. A backhand around. Lucas Wilcock jumps that one in for the score, bringing it back to 1-1. Tāwhirimātea on the board. Back on serve now. So Hammertron to send out their defensive line. The thankfully recently departed Cyclone Gabrielle, but it's Miller Mercer to pick up and initiate. Works wide with Jordan Tan. He's in power position. Marked out by Kieran Maunsell. Has to go backwards. Jordan Tan comes up over the top. It's Ryan Smith, supported by Root Tan in the deep space. Ryan Smith, Hugo Swinson, who alongside Bryn Douglas, who we saw in a game earlier on today, does some great work in that handle space, particularly for the U20 national side. Some great disc movement here by Groot Volume 1. Rutan again picking apart the midfield before pushing off to the near sideline to Troy Stevenson. Rutan, arguably one of the greatest cutters in the New Zealand Opens division. It's Ryan Smith to Miller Mercer. Puts one through to Rory Moore to Jordan Tan. Almost uninhibited offense. Stevenson, as Kapoor tries to shut that one down. Taiapa manages to close down the momentum on the sideline. Tan has to look back, finds Ryan Smith to Swinson on the far sideline. Ryan Smith marked out by Quixley. Goes back to Swinson, right on the doorstep. Troy Stevenson has to fake, goes back to Miller Mercer. To Smith, to Stevenson, over the top. Smith attempts a jump and it's not going to go. Stevenson tries to rush past, but the window is so small. Such a big man's not able to get through it. Little tip on the disc is going to give possession back to Hammertron, an opportunity to go ahead. Deo with the disc. Hits the midfield, finds Quixley, works past. Kieran Monsell, the big man, puts a touch up, but it comes off the hands of both Miller Mercer and Hugo Swinson to generate the turn. Monsell hungry on defense, trying to get the disc back. Swinson works with Smith on the far sideline, finds Mercer. Deo on defense, has to look straight back, not getting a lot of position from this, but they are keeping possession. Over the top, Smith with a comfortable read. Nice backhand to Jordan Tan on the near sideline, works with Stevenson, quick chip, 1-2. Doherty nearly gets a touch on it, but it doesn't come away. Troy Stevenson once again right on the doorstep, but there's a lot of pressure. Kapoor shuts that one down. Has to go wide. Jordan Tan, there's a big hands from Miller Mercer in the background. He wants a hammer. Rutan's helping Jordan Tan work the disc. Doesn't come instead. Goes back to Ryan Smith. Very patient offense from Group Volume 1, but it's Mercer now working with Swinson up the far sideline. Goes back. Monsell stops the around to use the middle of the field. Hammertron Tāwhirimātea doing a great job of keeping Groot in that narrow channel on the far sideline, but again, Swinson, he's just too shifty. Manages to get the break, bouncing the disc off Ryan Smith and Troy Stevenson before the defense can get in position and shut it down. Back to Swinson on the far sideline. Defense having to respect his fakes. They know he's got the throw, so Deo leaves a window open. Stevenson's got it. Right on the doorstep. Air bounce, and it goes high. Early jump from Quixley, it's not going to be enough. That is Rory Moore with the score to put us 2-1 Group over Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. Great score there. Early jump, maybe trying to spook the defense. Not super clear what the purpose was. Maybe just a genuine bit at the disc. But Groot, Volume 1, putting another point on the board. Keeping it a tight game, but managing to slowly edge out Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. How are they going to respond? Finn Collins, Lucas Wilcock, David Jackson, Michael Downey, Will Hamilton, Hamish Furness on the offensive line for Hammertron Tāwhirimātea, hoping to put a point on the board. Billy Armstrong with a monster pull deep into the end zone. Fielded by Hamfish, working with Wilcock. Hamfish with a great roll. Furness managing to keep that one in hands. Great recovery there by David Jackson. Manages to find Vaughan Wilson for a nice reset on the far sideline. Nearly out of their own half. Vaughan Wilson puts one through, but I think Billy Armstrong got a touch on that one. An opportunity for here to Groot to go up by one. Armstrong puts the big shot up. Who is it for? It's hanging, but it's not gonna come away. A nice look. A little bit much dip on that chip. Peter Boardman pressuring the defense. The reset comes away, finds hand, but it falls to ground. Peter Boardman manages to chip a backhand away to Lock Kwok for a big score, putting them up by 2. Group 3, Hammertron Tāwhirimātea 1. Huge play there by the Groot side. Just quick quick to make that mental switch, getting them back on board. Defense back to offense, quick close to that point. Some solid defenders online here for the Groot side. Owen Sun, Tough Ali. Billy Armstrong taking the field again. Blake Holloway. Huge pull. Touches down in, rolls out the back, so it can be taken. To the front of the end zone. Hammertron setting up in a split stack. We've got 4 players on the near sideline. Looking to isolate a couple of players in the midfield. Lucas Whitlock in the downfield space. Hamish Fernando with the disc. Starting to put tries to throw a spin move, manages to get past him. But instead we find Finn Collins near sideline. Resets to Michael Downey. Pushes across, Hamish Furness. Back to Michael Downey. Whitlock with a lot of separation. It's high. Love Parada gets the intercept. Finds Owen Sun to Peter Boardman. Puts a nice floaty backhand out the wide side. Louis Love Parada with the bookends. But looks like he may have... looks like maybe a call was made on that play. We'll get to see that again. Looks like a pick was called. So a pick called earlier in that possession, stopping the defender getting as close as they would have liked, maybe not having good position. Looks like the pick has been retracted and they're going to call that one a score, so that is bookends for Louis Love Parada. His brother Josh doing some great work in the disc golf space, the lesser sport involving flying discs. Volume 1 now up by 3 points over Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. They will need to make a change if they want to stay in this game. 3 points down early on. We are 21 minutes into the game. But a timeout has been called, I would imagine, by Hammertron Tāwhirimātea, trying to figure out what's going wrong. Why are Groot able to walk away with so many points so early in the game? Groot using this as an opportunity to consolidate what they're doing that is working, the pressure they're putting on defense, that quick mental switch between defense and offense when they generate the turn. Some really good and aggressive disc movement. Very, very patient, working the disc back and forth across the field. It's very impressive to see. What is the Tāwhirimātea answer to that Groot offense going to be? Spirits up on the Hammertron side despite the scoreline being down. Kwok, Crosby, Holloway, Sun. Some very, very solid defensive players for the Groot side taking the line. Armstrong again with the pull. Has he taken a sub this entire game? I'm not sure. Michael Downey stopping the pull, trying to get the disc moving early. Finds Furness. Collins streaking deep. Manages to catch it. Who's the next option? Who does he have? Michael Downey, great upline cut, a little stutter step, gets himself in good position for a great score, bringing it back to a 2-point game. Some great work there by the Hammertron O-line. Great setup by Hamish Furness, putting one deep for Finn Collins, who's able to reel that one down on the far sideline. Finds Michael Downey on a stutter step, cut into the space right in front of the end zone, manages to toe those ones in, putting one on the board. We're going to get to see it again. Furness is put to Collins. Little hesitate step to move the defense, and there it is. Great score by number 22 for Tāwhirimātea. Kapoor, Thornton, Deo, Morehu Cookson, Frost, Hemi, and Doherty on the field. Facing down the Groot offense, who we've seen do some great work moving the disc, using the width, stretching the field, stretching and pressuring the defense. Deo with the disc for the defensive line. Touches down out of bounds. An opportunity for Groot to take the disc where it first left the field. So a very short field for them to work up. Jordan Tan picking up the disc. 15 to 20 meters away from a score. If they can get the disc off the sideline, we've seen the kind of throw flexibility that Groot have displayed, particularly in their handler core. Your Miller Mercers, your Rory Moores, your Jordan Tans, some very sneaky throws here. Lehigh Kapoor and Alex Deo trying to set up almost a sideline trap. Connor Doherty shutting down the middle, but it's Lee Yo instead with the disc. Moore to Yo, to Stevenson, to Smith. He can't go wide around to Moore, has to go straight back. Low release backhand, Jordan Tan with a quick change of direction, bounce the disc off Yo. Into that throw and go motion, bouncing the disc off Moore. It's Smith right on the doorstep, goes to Moore, Moore comes wide. Stevenson's got it, Frost doesn't take a bite, back to Moore. Deo closing in, but it's Smith. Back to Moore, some great patience from Group Volume 1. Jordan Tan comes wide, Miller Mercer. Rutan trying to get separation, can't get around the aggressive wall in front of the disc. Mercer to Smith, to Yo for the score. Groot 5, Hammertron Tāwhirimātea 2. Great finish to that point, some amazing disc movement. Using the short field given to them by the Hammertron pull, Groot moving the disc around, managing to chain together enough passes to keep the defense on their toes. Eventually, as the defense, the coordination starts to suffer under fatigue, that's when those holes open up. Groot was able to punch one through for a great score, bringing it back to a 3-point lead. Both of these teams qualified under the same tournament this year, coming first and second respectively in the 2023 Battle of the Bridges in Hamilton. So the home team, Hammertron, ended up coming second with a final record of 3-2, beaten only by Groot, who ended on a 5-0. Furness and Downey with a big fake. Wilcock with a great undercut, despite double coverage, manages to get the disc, moving the offensive line slightly further forward towards the end zone. Peter Boardman on the mark, but he can't stop. A chippy forehand before Lucas Wilcock sends one deep, looking for Finn Collins, but it's overthrown. The disc is going to go back to the Groot side. A long field in front of them. We've seen them work it before. A great put. Louis Loparata underneath that one. Full field throw, full field run. He's just got to close this one down. It's Billy Armstrong. Needs something to develop in that deep space, in the end zone. Only just brought in by Owen's son. Through past two potential receivers. Was very fortunate to have Owen's son close that one out for him. Groot up by 4 now, 2 points away from half in this game to 15. This is one of those interesting philosophical debates with regards to what a team's goals are and how well they align with regards to personal goals. Personal goals over the course of a tournament might be something as simple as only one throwaway per game, no cold drops, I want to get a layout block on someone. Team goals, on the other hand, particularly at this high competitive level with teams of this caliber, those goals are to win games and win championships. When personal goals are related to winning as well, that's when you start to see those riskier shots open up and tend to be taken. People will send a big forehand that they've got because they trust their receiver, even though it might not be the best option, because for them that personal goal is about winning. So there's a huge element of mindset to what's happening right now and how that's affecting the choices made by both of these teams. Furness and Downey working with Vaughn Wilson. Makes a great cut. On the upline, has to turn around. Michael Downey manages to get separation from Bruce Ing. Puts a big forehand up, he's looking for Wilcock. Manages to hit him in the end zone. What a score, what a put. Hammertron 3, Group Volume 1 on 6, a 3-point game. Hammertron to come out on defense now. We'll see that happening there. That's Wilcock opening that up. Cutting on the far side of Michael Downey, throws a quick backhand fake, sees that deep option developing, floats the disc out into space for his teammate to pull down. Send out a defensive squad now. Jaden Frost with the disc gives the signal for readiness. Mirrored by Groot, puts it low. Mercer, Tan. A casual voice break from your commentator. Works through, finds Ryan Smith. Hammertron defense trying to get in front of it. Maunsell on the mark now. Miller Mercer works around, finds Jordan Tan. Leads Ryan Smith out into space on the far sideline. Quixley trying to shut down the momentum. Comes this near sideline. Swinson to Root Tan. Swinson works back with Ryan Smith. Has to use the width of the field, finds Jordan Tan. Kapoor slowly closing the trap, but the disc gets away to Miller Mercer. To Jordan Tan again. Lehigh Kapoor can't stop Ryan Smith on an upline. Swings back to an unmarked Jordan Tan. Rory Moore to Troy Stevenson for the score. 1 point away from half. Group Volume 1-7, Hammertron Tāwhirimātea on 3. Both of these teams know how to execute. It was a clean hole from Groot. No Hammertron player really got a touch on that disc. Some great movement from the Auckland side. Both of these teams are capable of it. But somehow Groot must be sneaking into the heads of the Hammertron Tāwhirimātea players, just inviting them to make more errors, some long throws that don't connect that are then punished. It's that level of precision that makes a difference when the teams are of this higher caliber. Both of these teams deserve to be here. They both qualified for this tournament. They've come a long way to play here today. Rory Moore puts the nice little backhand up to Troy Stevenson for the score, taking them 1 away from half. A big pull. A huge, looked like as the disc skipped between the legs. But it's Vaughan Wilson who will be bringing that disc to the front of the end zone, supported by Hamish Furness as Hammertron set up their Hex offense. Lucas Wilcock trying to pressure deep. Crosby marking that throw there. Hamish Furness comes through, manages to go to ground to keep it alive. It looks like there was a foul and it's accepted. So a reminder for those watching at home, Ultimate is a self-officiated sport. The players take it upon themselves to make their own calls. Finds Lucas Wilcock, marked by Owen Sun, pushing towards the far sideline. Vaughan Wilson, a hop, step and a jump to get off the ground and get that one. Hamish Furness pulls that one out of nowhere, almost like he reached through Louis Love Parada to get that one in hand. Questionable throw, but Finn Collins able to keep it in hand. Looks like another call was made. Finn Collins, marked by Blake Holloway, will retain possession of the disc. Michael Downey trying to cut in, pressured tight by Max Stevenson. Finn Collins puts the shot up. There's a lot of coverage underneath. Who's coming down with it? It's Billy Armstrong in the end. Puts a nice little push pass up to Peter Boardman, who bounces to Max Stevenson, who has a huge forehand, decides not to use it. Finds Crosby instead to Armstrong on the near sideline, puts a big hammer up. For Louis Love Parada, yet another score on the board for this man as Groot Volume 1 take half. The score currently 8 to Hammertron Tāwhirimātea's 3. We will be back with the second half of this explosive game as Groot seek to carve a path to the finals with an impressive performance out here against Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. But until then, my name is Blair Monroe. This is the 2023 New Zealand Open Ultimate Championships here at Ngā Puna Sports Hub in sunny Christchurch, and I will be back with you soon.
And there is our poll to kick off the second half. Groot Volume 1 against Hammertron Tāwhirimātea.
Michael Downey and Vaughan Wilson to start off the offense for Hammertron. Finn Collins on the near sideline. Big rip to shift Billy Armstrong, but it's not going to be enough. Recenters to Lucas Wilcock, marked by James Crosby, pushing to the far sideline. Lehigh Kapoor working with Hamish Furness. Michael Downey takes to the skies to keep that one in hand, trying to signal what he wants from his players. Starting to push deep. Lock Kwok manages to get contact, generates the turn. Finn Collins puts the pressure on, able to get that turn. Peter Boardman wasn't able to provide the safe reset. Hamish Furness, about 25 meters in front of his own end zone. Marked by Rutan. Finds Michael Downey. Finds Lucas Wilcock with a low forehand. It touches grass. Possession is going to go back to Group Volume 1, hoping to put the first point of the second half on the board. Once again, Billy Armstrong to pick up the disc for Groot Volume 1. Finn Collins aggressive on the mark. Boardman provides a reset, quick chip across to James Crosby. Wilcock tries to get in front, shuts down the big shot. The disc favors offense on a simultaneous grab, but Armstrong turfs it. Little support from the commentary booth, gets the disc back in play. Not just a pretty face, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Rutan on the mark. Nice high angle forehand, looking for Finn Collins. Could have had a play potentially, were it not for the bidding Bruce Ing. I think that's the argument. Finn Collins prevented from moving into that space. We're going to get to see that again. The shot goes up. Finn Collins tries to read. Bruce Ing, we'll see again. Looks to be marking the man rather than disc, but the turnover is going to stand. Crosby v. Wilcock. Armstrong manages to get the reset. Puts the shot up. Furness chasing Peter Boardman, who's underneath it. Huge play by Jaden Frost with the volleyball set block. Michael Downey, quick give and go. Nice throwing in motion from the Hammertron side. Huge bid by Crosby. Finn Collins puts a big shot up. Who's he looking for? Looking for the outstretched arms of Lucas Wilcock, but it's not going to be enough. The disc goes out of bounds. It's not going to be a score for the Hammertron side there. Disc is going to go back into the position of Groot one more time. Billy Armstrong picks up the disc. Groot setting up in a horizontal stack. That's Blake Holloway's disc, if he can get there. Huge touches on that one, but it looks like there's going to be a turnover. No call made, so Hammertron get the opportunity to close this point out, bring it back to a 4-point game. It has been a very long and hotly contested point. Lots of big plays, big discs going up, huge amounts of defensive pressure. Michael Downey wanting to finish this, hoping for someone to get free. It doesn't happen. Has to go back to find Hamish Furness. Furness threads one through, goes over the top of Vaughan Wilson. He's going to give the disc back to Groot. Groot setting up in a horizontal stack. Billy Armstrong supported by James Crosby and Peter Boardman in the upfield space. In the downfield, we've got Blake Holloway, Rutan, Bruce Ng, and Locke Kwok. Blake Holloway pushing to open things up early. Rutan with a lot of separation from Hamish Furness. Has to push that into a deep, but there's not enough disc space to keep it moving. That's Boardman. Finds Rutan. Blake Holloway just in bounds, marked by Lehigh Kapoi. He doesn't want to give him the reset. Billy Armstrong keeps that one in hands. Goes high and over the top. Finds Rutan, not too far from the end zone, an opportunity to close. Blake Holloway with the disc, marked by Kapor. Can he get around him? Calling for the reset. A huge play by number 16, James Crosby, by the looks. We'll get to see that one again as Groot go up 9 over the Hammertron 3. This is it. Tries to get around Lehigh Kapor, he can't. Bruce Ng can't get the separation he needs. Stall count's getting high. Great patience on the disc, great pressure on the defense. It's a low percentage throw, but it goes through and it's kept in hands. What a play by Groot. Looks like they've called a timeout there. Hammertron down by 6, probably looking to identify what they need to do in the next few passes, the next few possessions, how they're going to keep themselves in this game. A 6-point deficit is not insurmountable, but it's not a great place to find yourself 50 minutes into a 90-minute game. The wind is definitely picking up here at Ngā Puna Wai Sports Complex in Christchurch. The conditions are not really deteriorating. It brings a bit of chill to offset the heat of the sun. It's a good temperature to be playing Ultimate, but those windy conditions are providing a bit of a challenge. Finn Collins puts the big one up. An absolute laser from Hamish Furness. Not going to be completed. Holloway manages the reset through a Billy Armstrong commando roll. So we break the time out. Groot to come out on defense.
And there's the signal for readiness from Billy Armstrong as he prepares to put the disc deep into the defensive end zone. He's already rolled a couple out the back, which has given Groot a great position. High and around, slowly curving back into the field. Another roll, but it's stopped this time by Lehigh Kapoor, finding Morehu Cookson on the near sideline. Manaya Taiapa puts the cork back in the bottle, doesn't release that massive forehand. Looks back, finds Alex Deo. Wide to the far sideline for Kieran Monsell. Taiapa, such a threat, even in slow motion. The defense has to respect his moves. Doherty pushing deep, giving that option. It's taking the combined efforts of Altaf Ali, Locke Kwok, and Louis Laparada to pin this disc on the far sideline. Morehu Cookson works with Deo to get it off, trying to take back that midfield. Finds Manaki Hemi as he tries to go up to Connor Doherty. It's Bruce Ing manages to get the turn. Bruce goes up for it. Morehu Cookson, looks like there was some contact, so they're going to make a call there, have a bit of a conversation. We'll see again. As to whether or not hard to tell from our perspective. So we will leave it to the players to resolve that issue. As always, it being a self-officiated sport. Just waiting for some communication from the players before we resume. Disc has been checked in. So it looks like Hammertron will take possession. The foul has been retracted. Kieran Monsell, quick give and go to Alex Deo. Pushes to keep the momentum there, finds Lehigh Kapoor on the far sideline who has to work back to Deo. Morehu Cookson chips in through the zone. Has to crash that cup to try and create some openings for other players. Alex Deo has it pinned down by the aggressive Groot Cup. Kapoor chips one through, finds Taiapa. Almost like a liquid defense, like the T1000. The defense able to quickly reshape around whatever threat's present. But Hemi gets the nice inside shot, or outside in shot rather, from Lehigh Kapoor. Nice put by Lehigh Kapoor. As the wind picks up. Unsure as what the delay on the field is, what the current call is. You might be able to hear the wind whistling past the microphone despite our best efforts. Conditions are definitely picking up. It's having an impact. Taiapa with the disc finds Lehigh Kapoor in midfield. Slowly trying to work around Owen Sun. Looks back, finds Alex Deo, puts a big shot up. Taiapa only moments away from the end zone. Hemi through to Murehu Cookson for the score. Hammertron go up by 1. It is Groot still up by 5. Groot 9, Hammertron Tāwhirimātea 4. A necessary point by the Hammertron side to keep them in this game. Slowly ticking towards that 1 hour mark. Great finish to that point by Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. It's like a few of those same core players taking the line for this point. There is the pull by Hammertron. A little bit of a roll. Tan to Swinson. Miller Mercer takes to a knee, pressured by Jaden Frost. A lot of shimmying. He's not able to get around him. Has to go back to center field for Jordan Tan, marked by Hemi. Finds Mercer again. Uncorks a huge forehand. Looks like a call was made on that one. And retracted, so it looks like the turn will stand. Doesn't look like there was, we'll get to see that again as that throw goes up. Was there contact? Looks like there was a bit of a jump to avoid contact. We'll get to see that one more time. But it was enough to generate the turn. They are with the disc now. Supported by Izzy Kapoor. Finds Dan Thornton with a monster forehand. He puts it up. Quickly underneath it. Manages to get it in bounds. 9-5 in the 61st minute of the game. Hammertron's D-line starting to put in some necessary work. The wind still picking up, just getting worse and worse by the minute. So the group players already taking the line, a bit of a Hammertron huddle as they send out their 7 defensive players, hoping to generate another turn and convert to a score to bring it back to a 3-point game. The first half of the game was undoubtedly belonging to Groot, but the momentum is swinging the other way now for the Hammertron side. Kieran Monsell with the disc for the pull. There is the signal. Puts down a roller that touches down in the defensive half for Groot, but they're able to stop the roll early. Tan to Swinson. Swinson looked for Stevenson, but it didn't come away. Looked off a little too early. Huge pressure from Monsell to try and shut that one down. Smith. Moore to Swinson. Swinson puts a big one up. Who is he looking for? It's Rutan. He's gonna find him just outside the end zone.
And Jordan Tan jumps that one in as Groot break double digits. 5 points ahead of their opponents, Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. Great put by Hugo Swinson to find a wide open receiver in Groot. We're gonna see it again. There it is. Big shot starts to fade towards the end, but Tan underneath it. Waiting for some support. Flicks the disc up, manages to pull away with the score. Some great work by Groot on that play there. Billy Armstrong once again with the disc. Armstrong puts the pull up. Furness to Downey. To Wilcock. Marked by Owen Sun. He's letting him have that forehand side. Vaughan Wilson's got it. Marked by Billy Armstrong. Lets the backhand go around to Michael Downey. Hamish Furness. Back to Michael Downey, trying to signal downfield. Let his players know what he wants. Threads one through, manages to find Furness on that one. Works the far sideline with Collins. Wilcock goes to the skies to try and get it, but he's not going to come down with it. The disc is going to go back to Groot. Blake Holloway to clean up that overhead pass. Finds Peter Boardman, puts a blade out, but he's going to walk away with it. Great put by Peter Boardman to find that space. The disc blading in a little bit earlier. Manages to get cleaned up, puts one more on the board. For the very mighty Group Volume 1, managing to put enough interest together to get 3 teams at this tournament. Volume 1 and Volume 2 both qualifying for this tournament, the Division 1 Ultimate Championships. Group Volume 3 playing in the Division 2 Championships, still here at Ngā Puna Wai, still brought to you by ULTI.TV, playing out over the next 2 days, the Saturday and Sunday. Armstrong with an outside in pull. Touches down, rolls out of bounds. Great work by Finn Collins to retrieve that disc.
Furness finds David Jackson. Marked by Max Stevenson, goes back to Hamish Furness. Somehow slips, gets his defender to overcommit. By the time he gets back to his feet, there's a disc waiting for him. It's Will Hamilton now. Pick has been called. So just a reminder for those watching at home, as it is a non-contact sport, if a defender's ability to follow their matching player is impeded by the position of any other player, they are given, the player is stopped and they're given the opportunity to catch up to where they think they reasonably would have been had that interference not occurred. Furness to Collins. Bouncing the disc off Downey, puts it up, but the wind's there. It's not going to come back in. Billy Armstrong is able to run that one all the way out and make sure that there's no shot. Crosby pushing deep, trying to create an option. Ali has the disc, marked by Furness. Puts one through to Billy Armstrong. Pushes to Love Parada on the far sideline. Marked by Michael Downey, hoping to shut down the reset. The defense overcommits. Armstrong's got it again. Puts one through to Crosby. Uncorks a big forehand. Altaf Ali can't keep it in hands once he goes to the landing. Huge play. It's going to look great. He's going for it. It's secure. And then as soon as that contact with the ground happens, the disc tumbles from his hands. A little bit of a heartbreak, hoping to bring Groot that much closer to victory. But the disc is going to go back to Hammertron Tāwhirimātea with an opportunity to bring it back within 5. Downey, Will Hamilton, Vaughan Wilson, Hammertron players running a few routes before resetting. Quick 1-2 gets Downey back with the disc, but resets the stall count. David Jackson, a little bit of a chip gainer. Will Hamilton keeps the disc, but drops the hat. Osman finds Downey near sideline. Puts the backhand up, looking for Finn Collins. There's enough time for players to get underneath. Who's got the read? Owen Sun gets underneath and get a hand to it before any Hammertron receiver can make contact with the disc. Really good positioning, great timing on that defensive play. Owen Sun finds Billy Armstrong on a reset. Looks like another call's been made. Hamish Furness taking a little bit of a tumble. So he'll be substituted by Lehigh Kapoor. Billy putting up a big backhand. Max Stevenson with a huge layout, but it's not going to be enough. Disc goes back to Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. Michael Downey to pick up the disc, marked by Louis Love Parada. High backhand. Altaf Ali gets in with the Dikembe Mutombo, says no. In honor of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a skyhook for defense. Perhaps to commemorate his NBA scoring record being broken, but Hammertron gonna get a touch on it.
Sending a huge backhand into the deep space. Who's got it? David Jackson's underneath it in double coverage. It's Crosby and Love Parada. No call, no contact made. There's the big forehand. Who's underneath it? Too much float. Great defensive positioning by Hammertron to shut that one down. Clean defense just by knowing where the disc is. Will Hamilton, he's pushing deep. Got a lot of separation from his player, but the shot doesn't go up. Instead finds Lehigh Kapoor. Comes wide. Will Hamilton over Max Stevenson. Finn Collins. Back to Finn Collins after a quick bounce off the sideline. Owen Sun trying to pressure the disc. Can't stop the reset going to Will Hamilton. Some great zigzag play by this Hammertron side moving across the field. Michael Downey near sideline marked by Louis Laparada. Finds Jackson. Goes to reset to Downey. Very low, but Finn Collins uses those long arms to keep it off the ground. Owen Sun hoping to shut it down. He's baiting the low backhand. Will Hamilton, a great player in this Hammertron space. Some great patience. And a timeout called. Veteran called. It's been a long point, this one. Lots of position switches back and forth. Players have been grinding out for quite a while. Smart time to take a minute and a half or so to just catch your breath, maybe rehydrate, figure out what we're going to do. Great layout play by Max Stevenson. The little swipe by Ali. Great hand block there. And a veteran call. Hammertron currently down by 6. An unfortunate place to be. Hammertron first to break the huddle, just taking that moment, right? We're nearly in our own offensive half. We're nearly in a position to really punch through this Groot defense. We can get them on our back foot. How are we going to do it? Groot to break the huddle second. Offense is going to set up first. We're seeing Hammertron take that textbook hex shape they are known for. Then giving the Groot defense the opportunity to take whatever defensive structure they feel is best to respond. It looks like Groot are responding with match defense. We're going to see Will Hamilton push deep. Marked by Max Stevenson, it doesn't go. Slightly overthrows the reset. Finn Collins lays out, but it's not enough. The disc is going to go back to Groot. Billy Armstrong's going to pick it up. Lock-Quack gets separation from Lehigh Kapoor, but he's not the option. It's Crosby with a high release flick. Intercepted by Lehigh Kapoor in these wins. That's a questionable option. And a little travel call as the toe drag happens off the initial pivot, but Michael Downey with the disc now midfield. Pushes to the near sideline, finds Kapoor again, marked by Kwok. Puts one through to Osman. Finn Collins, an unmarked reset, but a pick has been called. Once again, the movement of players has stopped the defender from keeping pace with their offender, so they'll be given the opportunity to catch up to where they think they reasonably would have been. Well, there might also be an injury having occurred. We're going to swap that. Maybe there's been an injury called to a definite injury call. Looks like a minor and reasonably briefly reconcilable dislocation. So Groot will be permitted a substitution. It looks like David Jackson will also take a substitute for Lucas Wilcock. Finn Collins, a quick reset, finds Vaughan Wilson, marked by Armstrong. To Wilcock again, manages to cut inside of the defender and push into the downfield space. Collins has the disc. He wants to uncork something big, but he can't do it. Owen Sun is in the way. Wilcock and Downey working together. Kapoor has to take 2 bites and go to ground, but it's just not enough. The disc is going to go back to Groot. We are gradually closing out on the time cap for this game. 10 minutes away from soft cap, still 4 points away from a Groot victory, 11 away from a Hammertron comeback, and what a comeback it would be. Armstrong to Sun, marked by Collins. Sun unleashes it. One more time, Louis Laparada with a great score in the end zone for Groot. I think that's his 3rd for this game alone, possibly 4th. Nice break there by Groot, putting them within 3 of a victory. Owen Sun with the forehand, it goes up. Love Parada almost unmarked in the end zone, comfortably running that one down. Hammertron sending out some defensive players now. Alex Deo, Kieran Monsell. Manaya Taiapa, Manaki Hemi. Rory Moore with the disc to pull for Groot. And what a pull it is, despite the wind picking up. It's got a bit of roll, touches on the hands of Alex Deo. Taiapa to Monsell. Back to Taiapa through the zone to Monsell again. The rubber shoulder fires off, but Owen Sun gets underneath it. So possession is going to go back to Groot, hoping to put a 13th point on the board here. Ali finds Yo. Murehu Cookson on the mark. It's low, but it's kept in hands by Peter Boardman.
Marked by Taiapa. Back to Yo. Huge touch by Manaki Hemi. Jaden Frost goes to Morehu Cookson, who puts a big shot up, finds Manaki Hemi. Manaya Taiapa. He's got Doherty as an option. Manages to slip one past Bruce Ing. A lot of calls about a player being poached in the corner completely unmarked, but the option isn't there. Frost with a great reach, but needed to get in position early, maybe run that one down. Lee Yo to pick up and initiate for the Groot offense. Altaf Ali blazes free of his defender. Yo puts up a huge backhand. Great touch by Doherty and Taiapa getting underneath that, but there's definitely a call on that one. That was definitely one of the plays of all time. So Peter Boardman is going to start with the disc. Alex Deo applying pressure on the mark. The left hand forehand slips through the open arms of the intended receiver. Blake Holloway. Now Kieran Maunsell tries to open up the midfield with a little laser beam straight through the front of that defense. Morehu Cookson on the near sideline manages to get the disc. Alex Deo back to Cookson, right on the sideline now. Puts one through, and a foul has been called. So just waiting for the players to have that conversation. Like Bruce Ing may have been cleated on that one. A little bit of unnecessary contact. Goes for the exact same throw, manages to find Deo this time. Looks behind, find Kieran Maunsell. Back to Deo. Goes wide. Who's there? It's Groot. Lee Yo going to pick up the disc and initiate as Groot push into a vertical stack, hoping to create a channel up along the near and far sidelines. Rory Moore goes up, manages to bring it down. Resets to Lee Yo. To Holloway. Throws one low, but it's kept in hands by Peter Boardman once again. Puts a left-handed forehand up. Two touches off the Groot hands before they're able to pull it down for the score by Owen Sun. Who gets the assist stat for that one, I wonder?
So 13-5 now. 2 points away from a group victory. Here it is. The forehand, 1, 2 touches, 3 for the score. We are a scant 45 seconds away from our soft cap. 90 minutes, we will conclude the point being played as soon as the hooter goes. So as soon as the hooter goes, we will conclude that point, and then we'll add 1 to the highest score, which is going to be Groot's, regardless of what that score is, and we are going to straight race to that number. We have in our hands the game either to 14 or 15, depending on the outcome of the next point. Rutan with a very aggressive defensive cut, pressures the disc. Michael Downey's not able to get that one in hand. There is our hooter, so we will finish the point currently being played. Groot in a great position to make this game to 15. Miller Mercer threads one through to Jordan Tan, goes around to Swinson, to Rory Moore for the score. 1, 2, 3 passes and a score. We have ourselves a game to 15. Groot only 1 break away from win. Hammertron with a long road ahead of them if they want to walk away with the W. This is the time for Hammertron to leave everything on the line. Every single point counts. Every single point makes a difference from here on out. Hammertron have to play perfectly from here on out if they want to walk away with a win. Groot, they've got a few mistakes up their sleeves. They've got a little bit of wiggle room. But their mental focus, they're probably not going to utilize it, or hopefully not need to, as Collins and Downey initiate the offense. A big forehand up, looking for Lucas Wilcock. Slips one through. That's the hold they needed. Hammertron Tāwhirimātea 6 against Groot's 14. Now 9 back-to-back breaks necessary for a Hammertron victory. While the odds are slim and the door is closing, it is not unheard of. But we will see which team is going to close out this match. Dan Thornton with the disc. The cheeky little crank on the pull. Touches down with a little bit of rolls, coming back. Stopped by Quixley. Jordan Tan picks it up. Quick reset to Rory Moore. Finds Hugo Swinson near sideline, marked by Dan Thornton. Threads through the middle, finds Miller Mercer. Hemi on the mark, but it's not going to be enough as he quickly offloads far sideline to Tan, cutting back in towards Moore. Threads one through to Rutan, miles of separation. Finds Ryan Smith far sideline.
Marked aggressively by Doherty. Has to go back, finds more quick snap forward to Troy Stevenson. Marked by Lehigh Kapoor. Troy Stevenson doing his best work in the downfield space, but still a comfortable reset option as Rory Moore gets Hugo Swinson cut off from him, finds Troy Stevenson again. Rutan marked by Izzy Kapoor. Far sideline, Rory Moore doing the absolute most on this point. The offensive point for Groot that might be the one that takes them all the way to the finals. Hugo Swinson on a great cut, gets overcommitment from the defense. Morehu Cookson. Swinson pushes to Smith, far sideline. It's Doherty on the mark, shuffling around, trying to take up as much space as he possibly can. It's happening. Moore gets looked off. Rutan has to slide to keep that one in hands, but it's good. Tries to get a fake, tries to shift Kapoor. It's not going to be enough. Dan Thornton slightly poaching. There might have been a touch on that. Tan comes down with it over quickly. Tan throwing some big fix. Finds Miller Mercer. Works to Troy Stevenson, far sideline, very close to the end zone. Great opportunity here for Groot to close out the game. Rory Moore pushing on the upline. He's got it, and that is going to be the game. A walk-off finish. His momentum carrying him all the way through the end zone for a cheeky backhand to disabuse himself of the disc and signal the end of this game. 15-6, Groot, Volume 1, last year's second place winners. And the winner of their qualified tournament, the Battle of the Bridges, earlier on this year, put an impressive performance out and put a commanding victory over Hammertron Tāwhirimātea. 15-6 to the side from Auckland. A great showing from both of these teams in the 2023 New Zealand Ultimate Championships Open Division at Ngā Puna Sports Complex. The wind definitely picking up, blowing an ill omen for the Hammertron side. Great finish there by Rory Moore. But as always, my name is Blair Munro. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring you coverage of these games in partnership with ULTI.TV. Head on over to patreon.com/ULTI.TV if you like what you see. Give us your spare change. You're not using it. We will see you again for the next one very soon.
ULTI.TV